So evolution is ultimately just a spelling test with only 4 letters to choose from: A, T, G, and C. And genes are the words spelled out by these letters. Now, a single change to a 650-letter gene causes sickle cell anemia. But sickle cell didn't start out all that bad because the same change that causes the health problems also allows the person to survive malaria. Now, a similar trade-off between health and survival has been developing in 3 species of garter snake along the western coast of the United States. In the snakes, however, it all comes down to the body's ability to generate electricity. The nerve impulses which carry sensation from our skin to our brain and actions from our brain to our muscles are all electrical events. And this bioelectricity is very simply set up by cells moving salt in and out of the cell. And one protein in particular, shown here, allows only sodium from common table salt to rush into the cell. This excites the nerve to fire or signals the muscle to contract. Now, these salt gates are called sodium channels, and yours and mine look remarkably similar to the ones found in other animals. But this similarity is not an accident because the function of the sodium channel depends entirely on its structure. Any changes could block the flow of sodium into the cell, leaving the animal numb and paralyzed. Unsurprisingly then, many animals have evolved to defend themselves with toxins that target the sodium channels of their predators. One such toxin is called tetrodotoxin, or TTX, and it's over 1,000 times more lethal than cyanide. Less than half a gram could take out an entire basketball team, which, not to scare anyone, is about as much as the front row here. Now, the deadly nature of TTX is quite simple. It blocks the pore of the sodium channel. Now, these snakes may indeed be the exception to the rule, as their prey, Pacific newts, carry enough TTX in their skin to slay predators way larger than the snakes. So how do the snakes do it? The only known survivor of an assault with TTX is James Bond in From Russia with Love. But his tongue was silver, not forked. Well, as it turns out, evolution has allowed these snakes to make a few select changes to some of the 6,000 letters that code for the sodium channel, changes which prevent the toxin from blocking the channel's pore. Now, it seems like a dangerous move, but for snakes carrying these mutations, then newts are suddenly the chef special in an exclusive restaurant. But just as in sickle cell anemia, these changes may have serious consequences for the snakes. I've demonstrated this in the lab by hooking snake muscles up to a scale that can measure how strong they are. And these are the contractions shown here. As you can see, the strongest snakes in the population are still harmed by TTX. But snakes which can consume toxic newts, however, give up nearly half of their strength for this little party trick. And of course, the more TTX the snake can tolerate, the more strength it gives up. This is telling us that these snakes are waging an evolutionary arms race with a double-edged sword, and that the small incremental changes from generation to generation have an impact on the survival of the species. Hopefully this story has given you an insight into how some genetic disorders arise as beneficial mutations that have simply overstayed their welcome. And of course that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Thank you for listening.